Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Great and Powerful Zilla, and today I'm going to talk about the patch that dropped today, 8.7. But before I do that, I am still very, very ill. Um, those of you who have noticed in my videos, I apologize for that. Those of you who have kept me in your thoughts and prayers, I do appreciate it. I want to give a quick shout out to my son and my daughter who came down and helped me through my surgery. I do appreciate that. I am doing better now, but I've got a long way to go to recover. So, that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what today's video is about. I'm going to focus today on CVs particularly, but there's quite a few things that dropped today that we need to be aware of. First of all, the NTC, also known as the Research Bureau, came out today. So if you click on your tech tree and you go to the bottom, you will see reset buttons for all your tier 10s. And what that does, it resets it all the way back to tier 1, and you have to regrind that entire line. And you get points for that. So if I were to reset, for example, the American Battleship line, okay, I would get 22 million credits. That's half of what it costs. I would have to spend the full price to get it back, okay, and I would get 20,000 research points, all right, for doing that as a bonus, all right. So this has been hashed out, written about so much you could fill a volume the size of War and Peace on it. But the bottom line is, if you want to regrind an entire line to get some prizes out of the armory, which I'll show you in a minute, then you certainly can do that. I am not personally ever going to do this. All right. So let's take a look. They've changed the tech tree a little bit. They, instead of Poland, they have Europe. So I can very well guess that this will be a potpourri of different ships from different nations that were famous for one reason or another that are going to be put into the Europe category. All right. The French destroyer line is out, but tier 9 and tier 10 are not out yet. This is in the game as a prize right now, early access, but it is not researchable on the tech tree yet. I guess that's coming in the future. All right. By the way, gentlemen, if you're my age and you have a vision disability, please be careful when you're looking at the tech tree not to push these by mistake. All right. Because it'll give you two chances to cancel it, but don't go nuts and don't let your kid on here to go reset your entire line. I could see that happening to somebody like me. All right, combat missions. Got a bunch of them today, particularly in the challenges. In an effort to push their abomination called the Research Bureau, they're doing these spin-offs, and that's exactly what they are, is research spin-off. You get 10 games to play, tier 6 cruisers, tier 7 cruisers, etc., on up down the line. Okay? And if you get 500 XP, you get a prize, flags and whatnot. All right. And this goes all the way up. It does not include tier 10s. So it goes up to 6 to 9, but it does not include tier 10s. That's the cutoff. And every class of ship, including carriers, tier 8 carrier, right here. Okay, it does that as well. All right. Combat missions, they added 2 more French ones. These 2 right here. Okay, in which you can win these little French tokens. All right. I do not have this, nor do I have this. So it doesn't really apply to me. The daily missions, of course, are always there, and they still have these. If you have not gotten early access ships, it doesn't really apply. It's just there. Personal assignments are pretty much the same as they always were. General reminder to those of you who are doing Clan Wars, you have to activate this, you have to schedule it. There are no Clan Wars this week until Saturday. Because I guess because of the patch dropping, they're not having Clan Wars Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to have to wait until Saturday. Make sure you schedule it or your clan will not be able to participate. Okay? All right. Now, that's basically the gist of what's available to do. Now, the Armory. They added another new currency, two new currencies to the armory for you. One is these little French roundels right here, the French tokens. Completing directives and combat assignments by opening containers dedicated to French destroyers. These are the containers. You're going to have to spend money on them. Alright? So Legion of Honor, you can get these containers. That's a lot of doubloons to get 22 of these things. They have a captain available for these little French tokens. Some disposable camouflages. Doubloons. That's rather interesting. I like the idea of getting doubloons. 450,000 credits, a day of premium, etc., etc. You can look at it for yourself. Then we have this abomination, the Research Bureau. And for the price of these tokens, you get 10,000 just for logging in. You see, I got 10,000. You can buy 250,000 free XP, the Colbert. This is the Ohio. It's coming soon. We all know that. And a bunch of other things, flags and whatnot. Not a whole lot to choose from. I imagine this would be very attractive to some people. And of course, some people are going to be going for this, 57,000. Alright, so a couple of regrinds and you've got this ship pretty much, because they're giving so much bonus on that right away. Alright, so that's the Research Bureau stuff. You could take a look at it and see what you like, what you don't like, etc., etc. I personally, as I said, I am not going to be doing this at all. That's just going to be a decoration in my armory. I do not have any plans whatsoever of doing that in any way, shape, or form. So what I did today was I went out on the midway to do a random battle. And I will tell you right now, we lost. But the toxicity is still there because I was reported twice just for logging in. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be an asshole. Just for playing my carrier, I was reported. That was before I was sunk by an enemy destroyer that got through all of our ships and managed to put torps into me. It's ridiculous. And you wonder why people aren't playing carriers. Okay? And it was a defeat. And I'll show you the game here in a minute. Alright? 4 torpedo hits for 9,000 damage. Seriously, Wargaming? Seriously? Really? Okay? And I got hit by a Georgia. But I was hit by torps before then. You'll see it in the game. Team score, I'm at the bottom, of course. Well, I'm not quite at the bottom, but I'm almost at the bottom. And credits and XP, of course, I lost 24,000. Now, and I lost my ship too. So, check this out. I have this clan discount here. We're still recruiting, by the way. If you want that discount, please give us a holler and see if you join, and you can get this discount too. Okay, this is better than what it was. Much better. Okay, I expected to lose credits. I expected to lose 100,000 like before, but I didn't. I only lost 24,000. So this is a vast improvement. I don't know if it's because of this or what. But, you know, I lost, 29 planes, and that cost me 46,000. That's still a bit pricey, but this is more acceptable than losing 100,000, okay? So, this is an improvement. I'm going to check it out on other carriers. I'll probably be reported into the ground, but, that's better than what it was. I think you'll agree with that. So, I'll take a look at it and see what's up with that, but in the meantime, let's take you to the random battle that I played on the carrier. But this, 4 torpedoes for 9,400 damage. Nah, I don't care if you hate CVs with a passion. That's not. Come on. That really. Come on now. Okay? So let's take a look at this game and see where it's at. Alright? And I'll get to you after the game. Alright? Okay, as usual, what I do is I take a look at the enemy team and see what's up with that and where they're going. And I can see they buffed the AA on several ships. For example, that North Carolina there has an anti-aircraft rating of 91. That's far in excess of the rating of the planes on my ship. There's an enemy midway on the other side. So I can see I'm going to have my hands full. And the first thing I do, and if you notice, the autopilot has been changed, is I'm going to scooch up behind that island right there. And notice it's not a direct line. It kind of curves around. So I'm going to take the rocket planes out. And this kind of surprised me a little bit when I did locate the enemy. But you know, as always, I show you good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you like it is. And this is, I hope this is not what you encounter, but it may very well be the norm. I don't know. So I'm going to travel out here, and your first priority as a carrier player should always be to protect your fleet. That should be number one. So I'm coming out here and I see his rocket planes heading over toward our destroyer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dip down and I'm going to drop fighters over our destroyer. Unbeknownst to me, at this point of the battle, I had already been reported twice. So I'm moving up, trying to locate the enemy fleet. And of course, he does the same thing. He's going to drop fighters to try and counter my rocket planes. But I'm going to hit speed boost. I'm going to get out of there and avoid his fighters. I got a hearty thank you from the destroyer for dropping fighters over him. I believe it's Ashitaka. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to pull around this little ridge, and there's a Minotaur. And I noticed that when I first spotted him, I wasn't shot down immediately, but you can see the puffs of anti-aircraft smoke start to chew on my planes. But I do get a pass off. Lag takes it. It travels a little bit too far, goes over him. And I'm not going to get a second pass. I mean, just no. The anti-aircraft's still kind of broken. As far as a CV standpoint go, I'm sure from a regular ship standpoint, any aircraft just fine right now. But I did get one pass off, so I'm going to take off with torpedo planes. And we're going to see what we can do with these. Again, I did this at tier 10 because I wanted to see max level planes against, max level ships. Now, what I did there was I typed in to our destroyer, the Chungmu, just hang on, I'm coming. I'm going to drop fighters over the Chungmu, but I don't see any enemy ships coming this way. Any planes? There's planes. So I drop fighters to help protect our Chungmu. He drops fighters to protect their Georgia. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to throw torpedoes through this gap. And his fighters are going to chew on me a little bit. But, at this point, I'm not that concerned. Anti-aircraft's coming up. Georgia's got good anti-aircraft. I'm going to drop these torps. Now, to my surprise, one of those torps actually hit. Usually when you go bow in on torpedo runs, you're not going to get a hit. But one of those hit. And it hit for an amazing 2,000 damage. That is so freaking wrong. That is just wrong, man. Autopilot mode enabled. So anyway, I bring up the dive bombers and see what I can do with them. You'll notice that there's an increase to the size of the squadron of dive bombers, but that's nice, but that just gives them more planes to shoot down because they have not increased the number of dive bombers that go in on a strike at all. And I'm going to come off on this Georgia, and when I'm right on top of him, it spots a destroyer. And note I had to be right over the top of him, so yeah, the spotting, not so much. So I'm going to drop down on this battleship, and I'm going to drop these bombs. They're not going to hit. They're going to be way off. Again, lag took them behind the ship. And I'm not really concerned about that. I really wanted to test, how the anti-aircraft was. And I started moving a little bit too late out from behind this island to get out of harm's way. But I'm going to eat some torps or ate some torps from that destroyer. He was sunk, and I'm going to come in on this Georgia again and drop some torps. Now, again, I'm coming bow in. I should not, against a bow in ship, be hitting torpedoes, but he curves and I curve. I don't know why he turned into my torps there, but logic, I guess. I don't know. But you can see my planes are getting chewed. Chomp, 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 chomp. And now I'm up to 4,000 damage. That is so freaking wrong. It just is. I'm sorry. It's it's so freaking weedy. So I'm coming in, 3 torpedo planes, 6 torpedoes, and I was sunk by his secondaries. Okay? But bear in mind that I had already been reported twice in this game before this happened. I double checked and triple checked it, and yeah, that happened. So, give it a try, guys. See what you think. I think CVs are pretty much extinct at this point. I'm going to check out Tier 8 later. But until next time, you guys be good to each other. Have a great, great day. Bye.